Oh, hi. I basically have my pants down right now. Let me stand. No, never mind. Anyway, uh, Gwen, go ahead and run my new intro, which, by the way, I've shortened to just over 1 minute long. That's all we got with this. If you want to show the New Orleans Paracon video, I've also shortened it, where it's just about 1.5 minutes long. So you could go ahead and show those two videos while I'm looking everything up. Okay, I still don't have everything hooked up yet, but that is the two shortened videos. Oh, wait a minute. That was a shortened intro. Go ahead and play the New Orleans Paracommon. Give me another minute. All right, I am still typing stuff in. I have 2 fingers, 15 letters a minute, 10 errors. Let's just go ahead and bring our guest out, Gina, Lynelle. Sorry about the issues tonight.
Oh, no worries.
Love the hat.
Thank you.
And by the way, you do have great hair.
Oh, I have, and it's all real. You'd be surprised at how many people ask me if it's real or not. But yes, it's very real. Please don't come and tug on it when you see me at Paracon or any other place I might be at. You'd be surprised how many people do that.
Well, I won't be doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I tend to get hit or scratched or something. And what's bad if I do it in front of my wife, first you hit me and then she does.
Let the paranormal attack you.
Yeah. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited to be here tonight. I just came back from the Devil's Trumping Ground and looking forward to Paracon in July and the Warren House investigation in August.
Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about the one you just did?
Oh, okay. So at the Devil's Trumping Ground, it's located in North Carolina. And I did it with my buddy Alex from Haunting Travels. And we were there from approximately, I guess, about 2 in the afternoon until about 6:30, 7 the next morning. I'm still in the process of processing evidence, but I've got some really good EVPs. I picked up on one ghost named Marcus. He was telling me his story, but he said the reason why he was there is he used to go there camping looking for Bigfoot. So,
Aha.
being from the Piney Woods area, I thought Sasquatch was just a thing down here, but apparently it's a thing up there because the ghost was telling me about it.
Well, another question I wanted to ask you. Might as well go ahead and do it since we played the commercial. You've already said who you're going to be with at the New Orleans Fair Con.
Yes.
She was a fun guest when I had her on the show. As you can imagine, you know her better than I do.
Yes, she is an absolute blast to have around.
I'm gathering she's like this all the time.
Yes, she is, which great brings up some pretty lively investigations, and she has some gifts as well. She's also into the haunted dolls. I live in a house that was built in 1851, filled in antiques. It's very haunted, so I'm just into the haunted everything. I also run a business where I take people out on ghost hunts to active locations.
Really?
Yes, sir. Actually, because I am an author, I write paranormal horror, I would be out at book signings and people would see my information and they would see all these ghost pictures and they would realize I was a paranormal investigator too. And many people would ask me, hey, can I come to an investigation with you? And I was like, well, I can't bring a stranger to an investigation because a lot of times, I mean, when I started doing the public hunts, but I used to be called to people's house. It would call me when they were afraid. So I can't just say, hey, I brought a tag along.
Right.
So that's when I decided, you know what, a lot of people need to learn about this. They need to be, especially if they have an interest. And I could provide them an education, how to be respectful, plus show them all the cool tools and gadgets that we use. So I started opening up Jefferson Paranormal Journeys, where I train people and I take them to this active hunt location and allow them to collect some evidence. And I even help with processing that evidence for them as well. And I show them how to process the evidence because I know when I was first learning how to be an investigator, my mentor, the first thing he wanted to do was teach me how to do EVPs. This was back before the digital age. So he figured if I could make it through the processing part, I was probably a keeper because, as you know, that can be kind of nitpicky to do. So I started doing that, and I've met a lot of people along the way. And then I met up with Alex. I was a guest on her podcast. That's how we met. And when we got together, we started tossing ideas. And so now we're putting together different locations nationwide where we can bring people on to other, maybe more popular haunted locations to where people can learn and do the same thing.
Cool. I love this.
Yes.
So what all do you cover during these?
Well, let's see. So we just got started with this. We've done the Devil's Tramping Ground. Now I've been on myself. I've been all over Savannah. I've been all over Texas. Some of the more public locations would be like the Marshall House Inn, the Minger Hotel. We did do the Battery Carriage Inn in Charleston. Hey, Bestie, she's on the line. So we did do that together. And then I have been to Gettysburg. I have been to a couple of places in New York. Just different places that I have done these investigations. But I first learned in cemeteries. Again, this was before, the white, remember when we had to do white noise and we had to shuffle our feet on the grass?
Right.
That's dating myself, but that's kind of like what I had to start out with. And now it's like things seem so easy. When people complain about processing EVPs, I'm like, look, you don't even know what we have to do. We had to take stock in Duracell batteries and stuff because, we didn't even have rechargeable equipment back then.
Oh, speaking of, I've been showing this little thing. Would you believe it's a rechargeable flashlight?
I have one. I just bought one. Hang on just a second.
These are great.
Yes. And mine actually also has the solar panel. So I have
Oh, really?
the yellow, but like right here, I don't know where you could see it, but it also has the
I
solar.
see it.
And then yeah, and then you just have, oh sorry about that. You just have that. But that is like, because I was using mag lights and things like that, and then I have the Phasm cameras that I hook up onto my cameras, the Phasm lights. Oh, now this is going off. But I got this recently. I don't even know where I bought it from, but I really like it, and it's great. I had to recharge it again today because I mean I did use it a lot at the Devil's Tramping Ground.
Well, I'm not believing I'm telling a woman this, but yours is bigger than mine.
Is it? Are you sure? Let me see. It looks like it's the same size.
No, I don't know. Maybe a little bit bigger. This one I bought at Lowe's.
Oh, okay.
A box of 2 for
Ah,
about 12, $15. It's got the light, a very bright light.
mm-hmm.
Adjustable. I'll show it behind.
Like
It's
that.
also got a dimmer if you want to, if you're going to be on a long investigation.
Yeah.
Flashing for emergencies, and that is a UV light.
Awesome. I think
I
I
thought
need to
that
get me some of those too.
this is UVs are great, especially if you have a full spectrum camera.
Yeah.
This adds to what you can see, and it's also got that was shining at my eyes a little bar light, and this also shows red,
Mm-hmm.
which is also good when you're using if you're in pitch blackness. Pitch blackness is good for TV,
Yes.
but on practical investigation, uh, oh, Darren caught my joke. Uh, if you're in a dark hallway and all you got is your screen on your camera, and you can't see, that's bad. That's
Yeah,
not
it
good.
is.
Every piece of furniture you will find with your
Yep.
toes.
Yes.
But if you
Absolutely.
got a red light, somehow clip it to you or stick it in your pocket where this sticks out of your pocket and see how it lights up back behind me. It's kind of
Yeah.
bright. Also has an emergency flasher.
I have the
But
fasten lights that are like magnetic that will also stick to the camera, and it does red. It does different colors. I prefer the red, but I mean it does do the different colors and things like that. But I'm always looking. I spend a fortune. I mean I just we Alex is coming here to Jefferson here next week actually, and we're investigating a building that is 4 stories, private residence. So we had to get walkie talkies.
oh wow.
I mean, so it's like I'm always adding to my collection, and like I was like unpacking everything, and it's like I'm running out of space to put everything. But then I'll still see something else that's really cool and insist that I need it.
Actually, walkie talkies was one of the first things I got.
Yeah. And the place where I do my actual investigation for the business here in Jefferson, it's 23,000 square feet, but it's one level.
Whoa.
So, but it's still pretty easy to find people. Now, the issue that I have though is I always have to issue everybody, a flashlight along with the other pieces of equipment that I issue them. And they sometimes they don't know what they're doing and they're flashing other people in the eyes. That's why I like what you showed.
Yeah. You know why you use red or green light, don't you?
Why do we use the green light?
The eyes.
Oh,
Uh, why are traffic lights red, green, and yellow?
green is go,
Yeah.
red is stop, yellow is go faster.
Actually, yellow really gets in your eyes. That bright yellow at
Yeah.
night just blinds you.
Mhm.
Caution. Green does not affect the pupils.
That is so good to know
Red
because
opens your pupils. You can shine that red light like I do in my face, and it'll actually open up your pupils.
okay, that's good to know because you know what? When I also we have the headlamps that we wear, because our hands are full of gear. And it had the green and it had the red, and I did not know why it had a green light. So now I know that, because I even asked our cameraman, who happens to be Alex's fiance. I said, "Hey, why do we have the green light?" He's like, "I don't know." Now I know.
Now you know.
Thank
And
you. I appreciate that. See, coming on these things is so helpful.
a lot of headlamps and a different variety of them are available also at Lowe's. And
Yes.
only for about $12, $15 a piece. Some of them are red, some of them are IR, infrared.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have a UV. So you can actually take 4 or 5 different headlamps, and depending on what you're doing, all of them have a bright white light. Great for installing your equipment, your setup and your tear down.
Mm-hmm. I'm
But that's
so
the only time I like to use white light.
And I'm so glad that you're mentioning this, because I do know that so many, especially amateur investigators that are just kind of getting started, they go and they spend all this money on equipment, and I'm guilty of it too. But there are some basic things like your flashlights, like your cameras, like even many of your recorders, that you don't need to necessarily go to just a ghost shop store. You can get them at other places. And so I mean, and like I said, I'm guilty of spending thousands of dollars too, and I do have lots of really cool equipment. But the most important pieces of equipment I have is going to be my recorders and my cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's where I'm going to get all my evidence from.
Mm-hmm. And camera like this, you can get them. It's very tiny, fit in a
Mm-hmm.
shirt pocket, easy, smaller than a pack of cigarettes, and it's full spectrum. And you still buy these. I've had
Yes.
this for a couple of years. You can still buy them just like it. It's
Mm-hmm.
lightweight. It's got the screw on the bottom for putting a mount on, which is what I like to use. And this works great with any kind of IR or UV extra lighting you have.
The extra fasten,
You've
yeah.
got IR on your head, and the UV on your shirt, or where you can put it.
Yeah.
You can see where you're going, and you can take some great pictures.
Oh, she's wanting to know. We did have a situation at
Uh
the,
oh.
yeah. Okay, so we're at the Devil's Tramping Ground, and another group, couple had just showed up. They wanted to investigate with us, and all of a sudden, and I had booked it in my name, and I'd forgotten I booked it in my name, and then I hear Alex. Now, take in mind, I knew the entire time when I was driving from Texas to there, I was going to have an encounter with the police. Now, I drive like a bat out of the hell. Okay, I have no common sense when it comes to driving. So for the first time in my life, I'm actually trying to follow the speed limit. Now, take in mind, the speed limits in Texas are 85. So you go from 85 to 75 to 70 to 60, 65. And I'm like, crap, they want me to go slow. But I did get my police encounter, because as I'm back and I'm trying to set up my camera, I hear Alex going, Jada, we need your evidence. We need your this. And then I look, and of course, the police are there. But they were so nice. They were kind of shocked. They're like, wait, people pay you to do this? I'm like, it's cool, isn't it? And they're laughing. They're asking me these questions. And one officer's like, look, I'm Catholic. I go, so am I. Here's my rosary. I said my St. Michael's prayers before I did it. And he's just like, but sadly, the reason why they came was, well, obviously they see somebody at the grounds, which you do have to book. And we did book. We follow, because we do follow the rules, or we try to. And apparently the weekend before, some jackbutt was out there trying with a group sacrificing a cat. And of course we're posting, don't do this. And I mean, I even had one guy on my Facebook, he was like, well, can you figure out what sacrificing is? And it's like, look, I'm not talking about animals that you hunt. I don't care if you had venison last night. This was a cat. Leave the pawed animals alone. But that, unfortunately, that's some of the things that you run into, where people make these assumptions of these places. In fact, there were 2 ghosts that I've heard, oh, they're bad, they're evil, they want you out of there. No, they just don't want you messing with their land, and I got the EVPs to prove it. First, I thought it was just me, but it's so nice to have those affirmation where they say, yeah, you know, this one lady goes, I'm just not gonna. I just want no part of that. You know.
I have a neighbor like that. Well, actually, I call him the neighbor's wife. Can I speak to her or don't? She's convinced I worship the devil and talk to demons.
I get that all the time. You know, it's kind of like, fortunately, I'm Catholic, and so I happen to be part of the group that if you got demons on the group, you call. Um, but yeah, I get a lot of people that say, well, I grew up on the Bible. And I believe, really, show me in the Bible what that is. Did you know that Jesus exorcised, demons and all this kind of stuff, and ghost or evil? I get all of that, and honestly, I just get tired of it. Um, there's a time where you just have to say, you got to believe where you're going to believe. And I even now at this point, I'm like, well, if you're so concerned, you can pray for me and I'll
Yeah,
pray for
there you
you.
go. By the way, you need to talk to Chris Talley.
I know Chris. I'm going to sign
Yeah.
up with him at the Paracon. Why do I need to talk to Chris?
Well, he worked for the Catholic Church in New Orleans.
Oh, does he?
Yes. If the Catholic Church has a call and they say, this may be a possession thing, or we may need to exorcise a demon or whatever, they send Chris in to see if it's a mental health issue or just a
Yeah.
simple ghost issue
Yeah.
before they become involved.
When it comes to this, and I've been doing a lot of research with this lately, is that not everybody who calls the Catholic Church that says I need an exorcism really needs an exorcism.
Right.
They do believe in the mystics, that people that can see, but they also recognize that sometimes the devil will make somebody think that they have these gifts as well, which clearly Um, and so what we do before we contact the church is we try to determine if there really truly is a possession that needs to go on, because even as a Catholic, I'm just a layperson, and I don't have the authority to do an exorcism. Only the Catholic priest does, and they're doing it in the name of Christ. However, I'll go in and I'll see, okay, if I go to a place, and I'll even ask them, in fact, it's on my questionnaire, has this place ever gone? Because a building can have an exorcism as well. And it'd be like, has this place ever had an exorcism, or has it ever had a cleansing to your knowledge? I also ask the question, hey, has any satanic rituals ever happened here too? Because unfortunately, I've gone to many places where that has happened, and it may be, something lower level demonic. But I will tell you, I've been doing investigations for for 25, I guess 27 years now. I think I lost count. And I can count on one hand how many times I've actually had to call in the priest to say, I'm dealing with something demonic here.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the common threads has always been a teenage girl and a Ouija board. The last time I went in and I realized that there was something more than what, this little gal can handle, I saw the teenage girl. And there was a lot of ghosts in there, but there was a lot of protective spirits. There weren't just ghosts. There were spirits there that was trying to protect the smaller children in the home. I went straight to her bedroom, looked directly under the bed. There was the Ouija board. So, of course, her mother reamed her. But I remember when we did the prayer circle, and, we were trying to warn people, don't break the circle. Well, the person that was filming, she was new to all of this. And she had my hand, and I had to keep a really strong grip on her hand. And I felt like sharp claws in my arm. And after we were done, I could see the moon marks of the claws, and she had the same thing too. And if I hadn't grasped onto her hand, she would have let go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so that was the last one. That was probably about 5 years ago that occurred. And so hope the family is doing a lot better. We tried to do a cleansing. They ended up moving. The girl is off to college. Hopefully she's living her happy life and learned a lesson. But there was the ghost kind of hung around a little bit to keep an eye because there were some toddlers in the home as well. So it's something, you'd be surprised how many people they want to play with the occult, they want to play with witchcraft, and then they have the nerve to call us the evil people.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to Chris. I didn't know that about him, so I'm looking forward to talking to him.
You and him could have a definite, pleasant conversation.
Yeah.
So be sure you do that while you're down in New Orleans.
Absolutely. And I don't live too far from New Orleans. I'm only about 6 hours away. So I usually go there once a year.
Same here. Where are you?
I'm in Jefferson, Texas, which, yeah, it's like right on about an hour away from Shreveport. Very historic town, very haunted. Some people are afraid to come visit Jefferson because we have so many ghosts. But our ghosts are, even the ghost in my house, they're friendly. I have cameras all over the place. I coughed in the middle of the night last night. I didn't wake up, but I had an EVP on my camera where the ghost said, "Bless you."
Oh, wow.
I have EVPs from when I walked in from being gone on a trip. Welcome home. Orbs and stuff. They're laughing. They're smiling. So it's, it's like, do I have a problem living in a haunted house? Well, not this one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to have to come see you sometime.
I would like that very much because that way you can come.
If you look on the map of Arkansas, find Pine Bluff, and go south till you see Monticello.
Yeah.
And then go back up north, halfway to Pine Bluff. Right there is Star City, Arkansas, and that's where I live.
What is it?
Star City.
Okay.
Town of 2,100 people.
Yeah, I might have driven by it. I don't think I've ever been there, though. I mean, and I just recently drove through Arkansas, but when you're coming back and you're tired, you're not really paying attention to all the little towns.
Right.
I know I got really excited because I was like, I stopped and got gas at Hurricane Mills, Loretta Lynn's town. And I was like, that's only 7 hours for me. I got to go back. Need to do some investigation. Yeah. I mean, you'd think I'd be exhausted, but I'm just like, oh, let's do some more.
Exactly. We're not that far apart.
No, we're not. So we can come see each other, and you can come to my business.
Well, let's talk about that business right now.
Yeah, because Jefferson.
Tell us a little something about it, where it is, and how we can find it.
Okay, so Jefferson Paranormal Journeys is located in Jefferson, Texas. I do it at the Old Mill Antiques, which is a very active location. It has obviously many ghosts there because take in mind that the original building was built in 1836. The Riverway went behind there, so it had a place for the steamboat. Then it was a mill for a long time. It's gone through a lot of changes of hands, and then in the early 1900s, it closed down. But then Mr. Goldberg came in and he opened up the mill. Interesting fact is his ghost is over there at the old mill. But his brother's ghost is in my house because he actually lived in my house. He was there at one time. It's very interesting because when I start processing EVPs, they're literally sending each other messages back and forth. Gotta love it. But then up in the 70s, what had happened was that Jefferson had kind of fallen downhill. So they took it and they turned it into an antique store. And then in 83, the current owner bought it and she's had it since then. Now, the thing about with it being an antique store is you've got an extra layer of hauntings. So we've had haunted objects come in as well. In fact, I'm such a sucker. There was a soldier that's attached to a World War II chest there. I guess that was his chest. And they wanted to sell it as a toy box. I guess whoever brought it in advertised it as a toy box. He was so upset that I literally bought it just so he knew it was safe.
You still have it?
Yeah, I have it. It's at the old mill. But yeah, I mean, so when certain items come in and I know that they're haunted, especially if I know that they're harmless, I'll go ahead and get them. But also the ghosts play with different things as well in there. I had one skeptic. He was coming through he's like, I don't know if I believe this, but he was doing it for the sake of his girlfriend. He stops, he's looking at that Mickey Mouse clock. It's like, that thing is loud. It's like it doesn't even have batteries, it's not plugged in. And he picks it up and then he drops it because it was ticking. And no, there was no batteries in it, there was nothing. I got an EVP of a little girl laughing because they just play with stuff randomly.
Right.
You know, it's to the point, you know, when we go in there, even the staff in there will go, good morning, good night. You know, they acknowledge them, always get great pictures. But for the most part, they're all friendly. Every once in a while, we're going to get a crabby ghost, and they're not going to be happy that they're there. But they usually end up chilling after a while because the other ghost kind of brings in. For example, there was another ghost. He told me his name was Frederick. EVP was very clear. He says, I'm upset. Please leave me alone. I go and talk to the other ghost, Mr. Goldberg, and I said, hey, can you look after him? The next couple of times that I got EVPs from him, he was doing a lot better. And I think people, you know, when they think of ghosts and they think of something evil and stuff, they're not realizing these were once people. And, you know, and they're still people. They're just not alive, but they have their same personalities. And so they're going to get upset. They're going to get happy. They're going to laugh. They're going to cry. They're going to have all the emotions that they did when they were alive. And if they were a butthead when they were alive, they're going to be a butthead when they were dead. It's as simple as that. You know, and Mr. Goldberg is a prankster. And apparently he was a prankster when he was alive. And so is his brother. You know, I've gotten EVPs. And it's so funny because my customers, they'll be so serious and they'll be going, why are you here? And then they'll get the EVP going, because I'm dead. or they'll go, what is the deal with this place? It's haunted. And I mean, I'm always getting really funny EVPs like that, you know, especially from this one particular ghost, because that's just his personality. And he's very funny. And it's hard for me, even like when I'm in the area where he's at, even if I don't see him, I can sense him because I'll automatically start laughing. Because he puts people in such a good mood. But there's other people there that are a little bit sad. There are people there that are upset. There's two ladies there that are ghosts that are up in the rafters. I always get a lot of pictures of them. Do you remember the Muppets when you were a kid? The Muppet, you know, the two old men that were always in the banisters? Or about
Well, I wasn't a kid, but yeah.
Okay. Well, these two ladies remind me of those two old men in the balconies because they gossip and they talk about the merchandise come in. And oh my goodness, if you're wearing something they don't approve of, you're going to catch an EVP about it.
Do you know Greg Koss?
Who?
Greg Koss, K-O-S.
I've heard that name. Has he been at the San Antonio Paracon?
I never asked him about San Antonio. I doubt it. He's based out of the Chicago area. He does about 4 shows a week. He loves the Estes method.
Oh yes, I recently just started doing that.
So look up Greg Koss. Gwen can give you the link to his show.
Yeah.
Or his network and our network. We kind of work together. Gwen and I were on his show Friday night. This past Friday.
Really? We had a really good Estes session at the Devil's Tramping Ground.
Really?
Yeah, and several ghosts came through. It was, in fact, some that followed me had actually come through. So it was very surprising. And I know when I first started kind of experimenting with it, I wasn't so sure about it. I knew about the history and how it started at the Stanley Hotel and stuff, but it is very effective. And it's given me a new respect for the spirit boxes because I have so many of those. I've also had ghosts complain about the static noise and stuff, but the Estes method, I feel like that is a different level and very, very productive. You know, it produces a lot. I know it takes some patience, but it can be very, very fruitful in what you get.
He has got some great results from it. The reason I bring it up, when he and I get together live, we're like the two old guys in the Muppets. Greg is older than I am by several years. And I will be 70 tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And by the way, you said you've been doing this for 25 years or more.
Yes.
You start when you were -3.
I am about to be 56.
56.
Yes, but I saw my first
You,
ghost.
you, you look at most 30.
Aren't you sweet? Okay, you're my new best friend. Sorry, Alex. um, I actually saw my first ghost when I was 4 years old. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a Christmas I was 4 years old, and nobody believed me. Um, I gave a very detailed description, but it happened to be Christmas Eve, and they blamed it on a wedding doll. Come to find out, oh, Alex says happy birthday. Come to find out, she was a distant cousin of mine that had just been murdered. So, but it hasn't been solved. It's still the oldest case
Mm-hmm.
in Texas of unsolved cases. Her and two other girls. But she did tell me she was killed. She was hit on the side of her head. And every once in a while, I'll hear from her. She's ascended now, but I still her spirit comes to visit once in a while. But when you say have I been into the paranormal at -3, I may have started investigations in my 20s and 30s. However, um, I've had contacts with ghosts um, my whole life. My mom had even once told me that when she brought me home, her landlord had just died, and he always smoked this certain type of cigarettes. And that when I was in my room or when I was in the crib, she came to check on me, and there was smoke, and she could smell his cigarettes really heavy around me, and I was laughing. So even though that's a memory I don't have, I know that this is something that's always been with me.
Mm. You mentioned something about ghosts being kind of funny. I was doing an Echo Box. Ever use that program?
Yes, yes.
I use Echo Box Saturday night, Sunday morning, midnight, in my living room.
Hmm.
And if I do that every week, I have a certain few ghosts that visit.
Yeah.
I had a new one this past Saturday, and it was a female ghost, and she said twice, "Ghosts are in here." I said, "Don't you know you're a ghost too?"
Now, maybe she doesn't,
I don't think she did. I don't think she does.
because I have run into that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Funeral Museum in Houston, it's a great place to visit. I know it sounds very morbid, but it's a great place to visit, very educational. I didn't get anything around the coffins because they'd never been used. But and I got a really good picture of her too, of a ghost that was by one of the hearses. And when she realized that I could see her, she starts chattering away. But she was really upset because she said the past few days there had been a lot of scary people in there. And I'm like, you do know you're a ghost. And I'm having to, because my husband knows something's going on. My late husband, he was really big into helping me out as much as he could. And so I took her picture and said, look, here's a picture on here. He goes, oh, she's there. But when I found out, because she was really upset, and so I went to the director and I said, has there been any like unusual visitors here or anything? And this was also, it was like November 3rd or 4th. She goes, well, for Halloween and, All Saints Day and stuff, we had people coming in costume. And that upset her. And if you looked at her picture, you'd see she was in a long black morning gown
Oh
in front
wow.
of an a hearse, like it was a horse and carriage type of hearse that would have been used back in horse and carriage type of days. And she's like holding a baby. And so she didn't understand. And so seeing these women coming in with pink hair and hot pants was not something she was used to. And so, there was somebody, she had an audience, a captive audience. So she was going to tell me about it. And I mean, I went back and I was just like, this is what's going on. But I think she was aware she was dead, although I've had circumstances where they weren't aware that they passed on. Um, but she just didn't understand because she didn't have any sense of time. I did. my early days when I was first learning how to do investigations, Richard, who was my mentor, he took me to a cemetery because at that time that was the best place to catch EVPs. And we had to rustle on the grass and things like that. And I did run across a ghost who, she was upset because she kept saying it was dark in there and she was scared. And she had not ascended, she had not passed on, she just felt trapped. And so he explained to me, okay, this is what's going on. You need to go have a chat with her. But it was almost like she was talking to me from the coffin, which I thought was unusual. But he said sometimes that happens.
Mm-hmm. On the location you were talking about, is there internet site, web
And
page of some sort?
for the old mill, you mean?
Right.
If you go to GinaLynelle.com and then go under Jefferson Paranormal Journeys, I give a little bit of information about it. And then Old Mill Antiques also has a Facebook page.
So if somebody wanted to investigate there, they'd go through you.
They would go through me. Yes, I'm the only one that holds investigations there. But they can go through like GinaLynelle.com, and then there's a tab that has Jefferson Paranormal Journeys, and then it's like what to expect and even how to dress and all of that kind of stuff because it's an old mill, it's uneven floors. I mean, come on, it was built in 1836. What equipment to expect. And then I even provide them an EVP script so they have an idea because sometimes people will ask really stupid questions or, how did you die over and over again? They get really kind of tired of that after a while. And then sometimes it's just good just to listen to evidence and tell them just to listen to what they're talking to. Because I remember the first time I put a REM pod in there and I got EVP evidence and pictures of them. What is that? Because they don't know. What does the blue
Right.
light do? What's the red light? I'm going to touch it. Don't touch it. No, I'm going to touch it. And I'll like even have a picture of one little girl going, touching the REM pod.
Mm-hmm.
So, because to them it's toys. And all the majority of these ghosts were not alive during the digital age. They weren't alive during the television
Right.
age. And so all of these nifty gadgets, like if you got a cell phone in your hand, they're going to play with it because they don't know what that they're a lot of people bring in their old toys and things like that. Those kids play with them.
Yes.
Um,
I'm rather well known. You don't know much of my history about getting a child that died at 11 months and 4 days old to play. I had a special made K2 meter
mhm.
with a temperature probe on it. It wouldn't give you the temperature, but it would start making a tone if the temperature changed radically.
Yeah.
She found out she could put her fingers on the probe and make it sound off. So she would play with that thing sometimes almost nonstop.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I've had to learn to turn the stuff off even in my house and stuff because they will play with it nonstop. And I remember, earlier I was talking about spending all this money on real expensive gimmicks and stuff. And of course, I bought a dead bell, only to discover that they will ring a regular bell. I mean, you fall for the gimmicks. And so I've been a sucker for that stuff because I have so many different types of equipment, but then there's some that's really valuable and some that's not so much.
You have somebody in the room with you making a noise?
I have my cat my cat is the only one in the room. Although sometimes whenever I do
That's what I
this,
heard.
yeah, there's this, but I've had orbs flying across when I'm doing EVP, when I'm doing these. Um, she's saying buckets and buckets full. Um, yeah, there's a lot of ghosts in here, and so and Alex is guilty of that. When I've been on her or online with her, she'll be watching, and I'm going, "What are you watching?" She goes, "The orbs in your background." And it's like, well, the place is haunted, but they're friendly, except unless they're mad at me. Um, do you ever have your ghost like turn on gadgets and stuff when you're trying to sleep and things?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's rare, but usually I got the ceiling fan on.
Hmm.
Sometimes I just appear at the foot of the bed right under the ceiling fan.
Yeah. Well, okay, my ghost pre 1900s, okay, but I have a TV in my guest room, and or actually it's in my son's room, but it's his room when he's here, and he they'll turn on the TV in there, and I used to go in there and I turn it off, and I finally noticed because it's only on during a certain game show, which I'm not sure what the game show is, and America's Funniest Videos, and I used to go in there and turn it off all the time, and I'd get on to them because sometimes they would have it really loud, and then I'd be up in my room watching TV. Nobody's touching the remote. They'll come and turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll mess with stuff. So now I have a deal with them that it's like, okay, keep the volume low and you can watch it. Um, you can, oh yeah, she's saying they scare your renovation workers too. But keep the volume low. You can watch it and just turn it off when you're done. And sometimes I'll go back there and it's on, and a little bit later I'll go and it'll be off. So I just have to learn to compromise with them.
Now, I believe you've written a book, haven't you?
I have written. I've actually written 8 novels. One of the eighth novel is in its editing process. But I have written the Tinny Hall series, Tinny Hall, The Possession, uh, the 13th Hour, Sharon's Last Call, Pied Piper's Prince, Under the Tower Deep, and Echoes of the Heart. And then Wiccan Justice is currently in the editing process.
Where can people find these books if they want to get one?
They can find them on my website, GinaLynelle.com, any online bookstore. They can find them at Paracon. I will have copies there that I will be signing. Amazon, of course, Barnes and Noble, all of the online sources, they will be able to find them. And
Cool.
if they're interested, they can also check out my website and they can see my book trailers there as well.
Okay. Are you going to be giving a class or talking to any panel or anything at the con?
Um, I don't think I'm I don't think I'm scheduled for one at Paracon. I know I've got one in October, but at the con, I don't believe so unless they have an authors panel because I usually get pulled for authors panels. Sometimes
Okay.
I schedule so many of them, but sometimes I forget because one thing is nerd cons, comic cons, and paracons is where I make my best sells. My books go like crazy there at those places. So I always try to hit those.
Well, I hope you sell a whole bunch of books in New
I hope
Orleans.
so too. I really do. And I hope a lot of people pick up information so they can come and enjoy my ghost hunts. And like I said, I mean, yeah, I have them here in Jefferson, but we're also traveling too, and we're hoping to line up some really interesting places for 2027.
Okay. Are you going to be participating in any of the ghost hunts in New Orleans?
No, I think I'll be doing some of my own.
Cool. Have you been there before?
I have been to New Orleans several times. I go there probably about once a year. Now, the last time I went last year, I had just finished writing Echoes of the Heart, and the bulk of it takes place in New Orleans. And in New Orleans, it's broken up in different 7 parishes, which also matches the different type of demons there are demons in this book. So I always like to go visit what I'm writing about just so I can add more imagery. And I stayed at the Bourbon Hotel. I was by myself. I was in a room, and it's a beautiful hotel in French Quarter. Loved it so much. But my room all of a sudden started filling up with smoke. And I could see kids around me crying and stuff, and I couldn't, the vision lasted for a long time. And then I talked to the hotel people, and they're, oh yeah, that's where one of the fires was, where all the kids burned. And so, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, there are so many ghost stories that I could tell you about New Orleans. You just walk the streets and you run into them. It's such a unique place.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just love it.
Let's see, when was it? It's been several years. My wife and I were actually staying in the Andrew Jackson 2
Been
nights.
there, yes.
The whole place was bought out by other investigators.
Mhm.
So we had carte blanche on the whole hotel. Gail was trying to watch Game of Thrones. She was binging it. A ghost was in her room watching Game of Thrones with her.
Yes.
And which was interesting. I'm in other rooms ghost hunting. She's sitting there with the ghost.
Yeah, absolutely. We watched TV. There was a ghost. I don't remember what room it was. I know it was upstairs and it was near the courtyard area. But I woke up in the middle of the night with the TV coming back on. I was with my husband and my son, and there were two beds in there, and there was a ghost watching television. And I mean, friendly, nice. Um, great place to stay. But I wish I knew it was 204 or something like that. I don't remember exactly what room it was. But yeah, Ghost was watching it there. But it's
204 is one of the more haunted rooms.
well, then that explains it. Because I think that was the room we were in. That's what I want to say it was. But just because it's a more haunted room, yes, we had activity, but nothing negative.
Well, the one of the rooms, the back one, when the back building, right?
Yes.
When you got your back to the back building and looking back to the two buildings coming out,
Mm-hmm.
that first room on your left, they're not sure if it was a murder or a suicide, but they found a dead body in there several years back. Across the way, and I forget the room number, that was a murder.
Yeah.
There was no getting around that. That was a murder. The other one was investigated, but they never found the answer if it was a murder or suicide.
I think I remember the stories, and I don't recall. Yeah, I mean, I remember a murder or suicide, but that. And then let's see, I want to say it's probably been about 7 or 8 years since I've been to the Andrew Jackson since that situation happened. You always hear the stories and stuff, and I think, well, if I run into the ghost, I'm just going to ask them, but I don't always ask them. And then sometimes I run into the ghost thinking I know the story, and I find out that I really don't because they tell me something different.
Right. Now, on the regular tours, Chris and Jennifer lead people to that back building.
Mm-hmm.
On the ground floor, on the left side, when you're standing in the courtyard,
Yes.
that's a closet. It's a storage room.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they put you to investigate. That's the most haunted area of the hotel. The room above it is the most haunted room, and very few people even like to stay there.
Yeah.
Mainly because I have seen myself the lights going up and down, like somebody's got it, touching the dimmer and making it go up and down.
Yeah. They like to do that.
It also has been, of course, it's cleaned. It's a hotel. That room is kept clean. But if you go in there for very long, all of a sudden you start seeing roaches on the walls.
Yeah. I haven't
Someone's
been
on
in
the
that
ceiling.
room.
And this is where they put you by yourself in this closet with that very haunted room right over your head. And the room where my wife was sleeping or trying to sleep, watching Game of Thrones, is a room to the right side of that building. So that back area is extremely haunted.
Yeah.
And that's where they take it. Oh, and by the way, we will be, Gwen and I'll be taking using my cell phone as a camera, and we'll be showing the ghost hunt there live.
Oh, awesome.
Also at the Buddha shop on the same night, Lishiana is going to be doing her thing there.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely going to be showing that live because she's already said, I want that shown. And
Yeah.
Chris has said, I want as much shown as they'll let you. He knows that John Zappis will probably say, no, don't show me. If he does, fine. If he says, show me all you want to,
Yeah.
I'll hello, John, how's it going? So it just depends on what he says and the other guests say. But Lee said, show me all you want. So that voodoo shop, which I've been through 3 times, is very haunted. It's a guy drive. The reason he likes me is because I lived in Chicago for 17 years. Well, excuse me, 14 years. And he died of a drug OD in Chicago. He's interesting. Anybody who goes there, I'm not trying to boost their ghost hunts or not. Actually, I am.
Well,
But he's an interesting spirit to talk to.
and I'll acknowledge that I go there. Of course, I go to New Orleans about once a year, but that is one of my stops. That is one of my stops that I've always made, that I'm always making sure that I go to. I also go to the medical museum, the apothecary there.
The pharmacy.
Yes, it's it's a pharmacy, but there's a Dr. Ghost there. He's an interesting spirit. He can be grumpy.
Yes.
But if you're kind to him, then he'll kind of soften up, but he does tend to follow very close. Like, he doesn't have any boundaries. Have you been there where he's like almost leaning on your back?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude.
First time we went down there with my wife, we stayed at the hotel room next door.
Okay.
And if you go in, our room was on the first floor. And we actually have 2 doors. So you got the main door from the hallway, mm-hmm. and you got the New Orleans French type doors.
Yeah.
Actually Spanish type doors that opened up to the courtyard. Beautiful room to stay in. But if you go back there and go to the left, mm-hmm. close to where they got a little pool, that's a shared wall between there and the pharmacy.
Yeah.
So you can sit back there at 3 o'clock in the morning, as long as you keep the volume down and don't disturb anybody, nobody cares, and do all the ghost hunting you want. There's nothing between you and the pharmacy but a few bricks.
And they actually opened up some of that area back there. At least they did last year when I was there. So I know they were doing some. They were opening up some more, I guess, trying to make that courtyard bigger or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's pretty predominant. But like I said, it's like, dude, watch your bubble. He does tend to smash up close to you. I even wondered if maybe in life he was hard of hearing or something.
Or maybe he's used to crowds. I don't know. But he
could be.
He's either friend. He crowds up to you.
Yeah, and maybe he just spent too much time at Cafe Du Monde where it was always crowded.
Yeah, or standing in line for an hour.
Yes.
Or 2 or 3.
There's special times you got to get there. But you can't go without it.
You can tell you and I've been in New Orleans several times.
Oh, yeah. The French market, though, because I usually go during the week to avoid the crowds. The last time I went on the weekend, and then I went to the French market. I'm like, how could I have missed this? So,
yeah, don't go on the weekend. Go during the week.
Yeah, but the thing is the French market, the outside market at the end of the French Quarter, it's only open Friday and Saturdays.
Right.
Yeah, they have all the people there, so that was kind of worth it. But I mean, I do like going during the week just because I don't like crowds.
We are coming down, Gail and I, the wife.
Mm-hmm.
We are actually going to be in Vicksburg for 2 nights.
Where are you staying?
La Quinta.
Oh, okay.
We're staying at La Quinta, right by the park.
Okay.
Close to where the ironclad is.
Okay. Because I stayed at the Green Duff Mansion. Mm-hmm. And make sure you visit the McRaven house. That place is, and there's a little girl, Mary. She's so sweet there. But yeah, Green Duff Mansion, had some experiences there. But there's also the Walnut Restaurant. I think that's the name of it, or it's on Walnut Street or something. Some of the best food I've ever had. It's a great place to visit. The park itself, I can spend all day in just the Vicksburg Military Park.
Yeah, we're going to be there for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And we are going there, leaving there, going to New Orleans, and we'll be arriving Monday afternoon in New
Okay.
Orleans. And we're not checking out to Tuesday a week later after
So,
the marathon.
yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be coming in, I believe, on Thursday, and then I'll be checking out on Monday the 3rd.
I think that's when Gwen said she was going to end up getting there Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's there for the ghost hunts Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like to go just to wander New Orleans just to see the ghost on my own. Sometimes, the more friendly ones. Because, you can run into them on the streets. It's just, during the week, it's a little bit quieter and you can almost tell the difference between the ghost and the people. Not all the time, but you can.
Gwen, can you put up Haunting Travels last post? Hello?
Gwen. Hello there, Gwen. I know it's hot.
Anyway.
I'm here. What's up?
I was just saying, could you put up Haunting Travels last post?
This one?
I gotta get some clothes. Oh,
yes. I'm sure you will.
Shoes.
I'm sure you agree with me. Do not wear open toe. Do not wear flip flops.
She does. We go on ghost hunts, together, obviously, and she went to the Devil's Trumping Pound in the middle of the woods in slides. I have an EVP of a ghost telling her to buy her some new shoes. In fact, I did a post literally, and she goes there a lot. Nice seeing you. It was very, very cold. When I was in Charleston, it was in February, and she's still there in a half shirt and she's wearing slides. And she goes, well, I like to wear them because it's quiet. I'm like, you wear closed-toed shoes on a ghost hunt. You don't know what kind of hazard you're going to get into. And grant you, I'll admit that I've gone into a lot of old, dilapidated buildings, or, even people's homes I've got into, and it was like, they know I'm coming over. You think they clean up. I've stubbed my toes so many times. I probably need hard-toed shoes. My husband used to always wear steel-toed shoes. I think that's what I need. But yeah, she always wears these slides or flip-flop, and it's like, girl, you need some closed-toed shoes. I think that's what I'm going to get her for Christmas is some tennis shoes.
Well, get her a pair from New Orleans because you don't want to be walking down Bourbon Street and stick your bare toes in the street gravy.
Exactly.
Look up street gravy. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Alex, people pee in the street there. They've gotten better, but also the cobblestones are uneven too. I see people there in flip-flops all the time. I don't see how they're comfortable in them.
I've seen people walking barefoot down the street.
Yeah.
You've got all the issues with glass, but you've also got your feet are below sea level.
Exactly.
Your head may be slightly above sea level, but your feet are below sea level in the French Quarter.
Yeah.
And that water comes up out of the streets. Sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's green. And you don't want to know what's in it that makes it yellow and green.
All I know is it's gross. Mm-hmm. And then also, it's not unusual to be walking up down Bourbon Street or one of those side streets, like in Storyville or something, to see a naked person just lying there.
True.
It is a very unique city.
Yes, it is. There's no telling who will be around you or walking past you, or you'll see shoes in the power lines.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes brand new stuff.
Oh, I know. And I mean, it's like, and then Mardi Gras, that's a whole different story.
Yeah. Fortunately, the Paracon, of course, Chris planned it this way, is nothing else is going on in the city.
Perfect. Yeah. And
absolutely nothing.
I like that.
The Paracon is the thing in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a lot of places where it's going to be us and a few other people. And that's it. You're not going to have the great big tourists because tourists don't go to New Orleans in the latter part of July.
No, it's too hot. I mean, and then the swap tours, it's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, okay, it's like, yeah, you want to see some gators, okay, but be prepared to get bit by some mosquitoes that are as big as turkeys.
Yes, and other insects. If you
Hmm.
go on one of those tours, you're going to get up close and personal with gators,
Yep,
raccoons, boar hogs.
nutrients.
Hmm. And
The
those boar hogs smell corn, they go a
Yeah,
little bit nuts, and they will try to get in the boat with you.
yeah, they will. Um, Yeah, it's definitely it's unique. But what gets me, and it's not just New Orleans. I've seen this, but it's in other southern cities too. Like, well, I like to take those trolley tour buses and stuff like that. But I'll see a lot of people, especially from up north, and they're not drinking the water, and it's hot, and they're not drinking bottled water, and we're like, and everybody will warn them, drink, drink, stay hydrated. Please stay hydrated. Why do you think hotel rooms put free water in your room?
Mhm.
But I mean, they have to be reminded. So it's like anybody from up north that's coming to our Paracon, please make sure you're hydrated.
Bring a backpack,
Yes.
put your 6 pack of water in the
Mhm.
backpack. If you got your little individual coolies, and we got a few of them, a little zip up
Yeah.
the side,
Yeah.
put your water bottle in a little coolie, zip it up, put it in your backpack.
They also sell them at all the tourist places too. And there's a lot of them all over the place.
Because you got to have it. Now, if you want to put the water in your back, if you want to walk down the street, get you a grenade, but be sure you drink some water before and after the grenade, please.
Yes.
Because that grenade will blow up in your head.
Absolutely.
And you can probably tell a story or two about the purple drinks.
Yes, they're huge. Uh, I'll make sure to pop some Dr. Pepper. Alex, I'm going to have a talk. Carbonation dehydrates you. She won't drink water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to introduce her to flavored water because you don't want to drink your Cokes. You don't want to drink your Dr. Peppers or anything like that because it's going
No.
to dehydrate you.
Another thing to carry in your backpack is Gatorade.
Yes. And Powerade, blue Powerade.
Mm-hmm. It works.
Yep.
The purple drinks work too. They're cold and they're loaded with sugar. They're
Yeah.
also loaded with rum.
The vampire restaurant there where they have, where you can get the drinks, like the Kool-Aid drinks with alcohol in the IV bags, they'll freeze them for you. And sometimes you'll be sucking on a slushy IV bag, but it's actually pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. I did not do that before. I will have to, considering I got new fangs. And oh, by the way, Father Sebastian will be making fangs for people
Oh, okay.
during the
Awesome.
Paracon.
Okay.
So that's another thing that's going on. Oh, yes, I've seen a lot of people have fun in there.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a fun place to go.
Mhm.
Uh, one thing, when you go in there, before it's opened up, be sure to come back outside. And maybe you can run back to your table when people start coming in.
Yeah.
Because to open up the Paracon Saturday morning, the voodoo group that's there, Voodoo Authentica,
Hmm.
is going to have an opening ceremony right outside in the lobby, outside the doors for the main Paracon.
Cool. Well,
And that's how they're going to open their con.
I'm hoping to set up Friday evening because I'll be there and he's going to let you in to set up early. So hopefully I'll have that all done and everything set up. And Alex is going to be there too. So that we'll be able to get right out there and see that. Unless I'm, at the store buying her shoes.
Yeah, I will be wearing my hiking shoes, which are kind of high ankle shoes with a sole about this thick.
Yeah, you definitely want to dress comfortable.
Because if it hadn't rained in New Orleans for a while and you see water coming out of a crack in the street,
Hmm.
you don't want to step in it because it might splash on a bare leg.
Yeah,
You want to walk around those things.
yeah. What's that disease, the skin infected, that bacteria that can get into your skin and rot your skin? That's what I'm afraid of
Mhm.
getting.
There has been episodes of people walking barefoot or with flip flops, getting some of that on their toes and losing a toe.
I believe that, yes. So yeah.
So, what are you going to be doing there besides signing books?
I'll be signing books. I'll be selling. I'll be selling some of my merchandise. Alex will be there. She'll also be doing some readings. I may be doing some readings as well. And then, of course, in the nightlife, when the hours go down, I plan on. I like to go to Jackson Square because there's some free roaming spirits that are there that I do like to go visit on a regular basis, especially when it's calm there. Hopefully go into the Jackson's, cathedral. That's one of the oldest cathedrals in the United States. And as a Catholic, of course, I do love to go hang it out there. In fact, the ghosts that are in that cathedral are also mentioned in my book, Echoes of the Heart. I like to go say hello to, Father Padre and, thank him for his inspiration. And then, of course, when I'm not there, I love to go to all the museums. The Storyville Museum is fascinating. Of course, the Voodoos. There's a Catholic gift shop that's right around the corner. There's a couple of places where you can go get readings there. And who knows, maybe I'll throw in a ghost walk because I sure do like listening to the history.
You get a lot of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, the church is open if you just want to go inside.
Yes, it is.
And look around.
Mm-hmm.
You can take pictures. Don't touch. I wouldn't touch anything, but
yeah,
they open the door for everybody.
And they do have mass, so I'll be going to mass there on Sunday.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
They've also got, of course, a nice museum right next door.
Yes.
The Katrina Museum really shows you up close and personal how bad that was.
Yeah.
You've also got the military museum, World War II military museum.
I love that museum. You can stay there for hours on end. I'm a huge World War II buff. Of course, I'm a history buff in general, but I'm really interested into that war. And it's really cool because when you go in and you go on that train ride and they actually assign you a character, it's kind of like the Spy Museum in Washington, D.C., where you get assigned a character and that's who you are while you're traveling through that museum. It's very unique, very educational, especially for kids.
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat in a little restaurant there? Looks like an old 50s cafe, cafeteria.
Yeah, sure did.
Good food there.
Yes. Very good food. And when I give high marks when I get good food because I do have a shellfish allergy. And so it's kind of hard to find things that I can eat in New Orleans. So when I find a great place, I definitely have to give it some kudos.
Have you been to the fried chicken place yet?
I think so. Where is it at?
I forget the name of the street, but it's got the world's best fried chicken.
I don't know. Paula Dean's place, it's closed down, but that place in Savannah, that was really good. And I don't know, that place I told you about in Vicksburg, it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious.
Oh, by the way, Haunting Travels, this is for you. I found a new way to do chicken.
She loves
Either
her
coated or uncoated. I put it in my air fry oven. And even a small whole chicken can go in your air fry oven, and you may have to just flip it once or twice, but you can air fry your chicken. So if you like chicken, there you go. A new way to fix it.
Yeah, she's crazy about chicken.
Now, let's see. Let's hit again on the website for finding you.
It's GinaLynelle.com, GinaLynelle.com. And on my website, you'll find all of my books, my book trailers, if you like to see the trailers to see what you're about to read. You'll also find information about Jefferson Paranormal Journeys. I also have my events calendar on there that tells about the different locations that I'll be at. So when I have events in Jefferson, as well as other places in the country, as well as book signings.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be selling some trinkets you have, along with readings and signing books.
Crystals, yeah, I'll have crystals. I'll have, I just usually have a different variety. Now, what sells like crazy are my little miniature pet ghosts. And I sell them at the old mill too, but they glow in the dark and people tend to love those. But yeah, I'll have a few glow in the dark things too, and just safety things that are nice to have. I also sell ghost hunting materials. Like I'll sell dowsing rods, I sell EMF readers. Um, I sell the different pendulums that people can have. And so for people that are actually going to go out onto an investigation, they can actually purchase some materials at my booth that they'll be able to use. And what's nice about the EMF readers is they're rechargeable, which, you know, the longer I'm in this field, the more I realize how much I appreciate you can charge things up, and they're lightweight.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The ghost broker dowsing rods. There must be a story there.
Yes, when we were at the tramping ground, I was playing with my dowsing rods, and then I put them down, and then we went out to the field to investigate, and we came back. Nobody was in my tent, but I picked up my dowsing rods, and let me find them. They were perfectly straight before, but this is what happened to it. It was almost like something was set on it, but these are copper, so they don't bend easily. And they got bent when we were there. And
wow.
I didn't do anything. It was at the beginning of the investigation, and like I said, I set them aside. Nothing was setting on them, but they were both as straight as this. And these are a good pair. Like, I'll admit that for my investigations, like I'll use some that they do bend easily, but these don't. And so, you know, fortunately, I got some new ones. They did come in today, but yeah, the ghost.
Wow.
Played with my dowsing rods.
Wow. Have you ever been to the Bonnie and Clyde ambush site? That's not too far from you. Over in Louisiana.
I know I've been to a bank where I did an investigation that Bonnie and Clyde once robbed, but no, I don't think I've been to that. But I don't recall ever going to that site that you're talking about.
Interesting place. They got a museum there. And I went to where they were killed.
Yeah, I drove by there, and I remember because I actually drove by there recently, and I was thinking I need to go there.
Yes.
I always say that. Like I'll be driving along. Oh, I want to go there. I want to go there. I mean, I'm like a woman shopping for shoes.
Go back in the town. Go through the museum. You'll love it.
Yes.
They've got the stool because they built it in the old cafe where Bonnie and Clyde got their last meal. And they've got the stool that Clyde was sitting on when he ordered.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the car because she had those acid burns, second-degree acid burns. So she wasn't getting along. She was miserable the last couple of months of her life because of that.
Yeah.
But the stool is still sitting there, and I sat on the stool for about 15, 20 minutes and then drove the exact route they drove to the massacre site. Bonnie, I got her to say one thing several times. Go away, leave. So that's all she'd say to me.
She's not a happy camper.
No, she's not. Clyde told me flat out I didn't want to go back to prison. And says that over a ghost box through the static.
Oh, how cool.
So they're there.
Yeah. I have investigated the Myrtles several times and gotten a lot of EVPs from there, as well as many, many pictures. There's a little girl that follows me around there, but also follows my son when he goes there too.
How old's your son?
My son is 22, but the first time he went there, we were just driving through. He was about 14 or 15. And then he's gone there as an adult, but I think the little girl must have a crush on him, and he's sensitive too. I remember one time we were there, and my husband was in another room we were watching, and the little girl was right next to him, and they were talking about her, and and of course he can see her too, and I can see her, but my husband, he knew their existence, but he couldn't see them, and so they're talking about her, and the little girl is like messing with the lamp that's right next to it and pulling, and they were like looking at my son like he was doing it. He's like, I'm not doing it. It's her. It's her. And of course I know. And then when we went outside and I was sitting on a bed, she started playing with my hair, and they watched, and my hair was just going straight out like that. And there was no way out and stuff like that. And I was like, and I've taught for many years. Kids like me. And so, but yeah, she was playing with my hair, and I was like, see, and it was not him playing with the chandelier either. But yeah, it's a really great place. Got to get a lot of evidence there. And I know that's one thing. When I take people out on an investigation, they want evidence. They want something that's going to be real. They want something tangible that they can bring with them, which is why I choose the old mill, because I've never done an investigation there that I have not gotten some sort of evidence.
Yeah, both of y'all need to go into the voodoo shop in the back.
Oh yeah. Oh,
slave quarters. But the two of you and your bestie, there's no way he's going to leave y'all alone.
No, I don't get left alone. But I say my prayers, and I'm protected. I always come with protection.
Well, in that voodoo shop and the Andrew Jackson, you don't taunt the ghost. That's a hard rule on Chris. Somebody broke it a few months ago, and she started feeling bad. And they got out of they finished the voodoo shop, and she got on the street and just started throwing up. Threw up all the way to the Andrew Jackson, and the ghosts there that had followed her all the way from the voodoo shop and the ones at the Andrew Jackson were messing with her again. And she was just feeling nauseous the entire investigation. Don't taunt the ghost.
And that's a strict rule of mine that I really agree with Chris, and it's something that I've talked about. And there have been people that have taunted the ghost at the old mill, and they've had things thrown at them. I've had people get sick there. I've had one guy get pushed, but I tell them beforehand, don't mess with them, don't taunt with them. You want to be treated with respect, you treat them with respect. And I know something. It's like I always tell them, I mean you no harm. I pray to God you mean me none. And also, if they don't want to talk, I respect that too, because there are plenty of other ghosts that do want to talk, and they'll talk your ear off.
This is true. Now, when I do it here at the house, I'll go do it like a football game. I'll walk in, okay, 5-minute warning, 5 minutes for shutting down. Then you'll have to leave the house. That's a strict rule. I tell them you have to leave the house now.
Yeah.
Don't bother the wife sleeping in the bedroom, and don't come in the den where I am now. Either while we're doing the session or after. So they have rules. They keep them. They got a big room, my living room out there. They sit in front of the fireplace. They can talk. I can hear them. I've got the speaker set up right next to the microphone, so it's blaring like this because they can hear everything that's going on while I'm doing that. But it's just a strict rule. I don't let them anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's not taunting them. I just put the rules out there, and they usually go by them.
Well, my house is a little bit different because they were here a lot longer before I was.
Right.
However, they do respect my space. I will tell you though, I'll have blood sugar drops, a lot of diabetic type 1, and I've been woken up in the middle of the night by the female ghost to tell me your sugar is dropping.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I actually, at one point when I first bought the house, before I ever moved in, I was going back and forth from my house in LaPorte. I had to have the house leveled. You do that with old houses. And the ghost didn't understand what was happening. And I woke up in the middle of the night to a ghost shaking me in my LaPorte house saying, We need you to come back. We need you to come back now. And what it was they were frightened because all this movement was happening in the house. And so, there's this mutual respect. Yeah, they'll turn off the TV on me, but in all fairness, I turned off the TV on them. So, after a while, it's like Alex says, yeah, they become our friends after a while. Actually, it's more than that. They become family.
Mm-hmm. And I have a cast of characters here. One woman, basically, the only thing she said was rape. And I asked her, were you raped? And she said yes. Another one, a guy was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he must have died there. There was a prison not too far away. Oh, let me ask you something. Well, I'm talking about something not very far away.
Yeah.
You said something about at the mill.
Yes.
There was a steamship stop there? You had steamships going back and forth?
The Red River went behind it, and so the steamship. So it was at one point it was a port for the steamboats that came in from New Orleans and even from France. And then there's also railroad tracks that was by there because once the steamboats died, then we had the railroad tracks. But of course, the Civil War came through. But one of the reasons why so many of the houses were preserved is because Union soldiers did stay in our house, including mine. In fact, in my living room, and why it has a historical marker is because President Grant, when he was a general, he met with Union soldiers in my living room, and General Buell actually spent the summer here. So this whole town is rich in history.
Yes.
And of course, being a history buff, I love it. And then, so we had that going on. We had the Civil War going on. And then also, like the first weekend of May, we have the reenactments that happen. And a lot of times that will rev up the, the activities and not just in my homes, in all the homes.
I was about to ask you that after the reenactments, does that rev up the activity?
It does. During the whole weekend, but even before, it's almost like they sense it, and even afterwards, it'll rev up because we'll have the music and everybody is walking around in costumes. Like I have my closet of costumes that I'm forming because if I'm going out during that weekend, I'm dressed in my makeshift Scarlett O'Hara outfit. But we always have a lot of things going on. Like we have the big Bigfoot conference in October. We have something going on July 24th, which is an 1850s masquerade. And the whole town participates. And so when you're walking out, you see all these people like in costume, it gathers their interest. And like Lions Park, which is right around the corner for me, during the reenactment and other times, that's when they'll have the campsites for the soldiers. And they set it up like regular campsites. But I mean, a sensitive can walk around and also see the other ghosts looking on. Excuse me. Kitty cat.
Oh, what is the cat's name, by the way?
Startle Boots.
No, does she want a little camera time?
I don't know. She doesn't typically like it, but she tends to cling by me all the time. Come here. Oh, no, she doesn't want camera time.
I never turn down a fur baby.
And she's definitely my fur baby. She's my muse. When I was teaching during COVID, she would sit on my desk while I was like sitting there, working with my students, and so then they would all come and get their get their fur babies. So,
are you still teaching?
Not anymore. I'm writing full time, and I'm doing the paranormal investigations.
I wish I could just sit down and had the discipline. I need discipline. I guess you can join the Marines or something. I've got books in my head. I just need to get down and write them. Trouble is arthritis. Yeah.
Well, they also have where you can speak it. It takes me about a year to write a full book. Once I get it in my head, it's like I get into a zone. I used to say my brain is on fire because I will just get into a zone and I'll just write and I'll have an idea of a book. But I don't know how it's going to end or what's going to happen to the book until I'm actually writing it. and I'd be like, oh, I just killed off this character today. I had no idea that was coming. Or something else. I literally don't know what's going to come out. And then sometimes when I go back in editing, I'm like, oh, I wrote that. Wow.
And my wife and I come up with a universe where whites do not take over North America. And I mean, up until today's time, in the 21st century, the dominant population in the lower 48 is Native Americans, not the United States. They got a little sliver on the East Coast, a little bit of trade up the rivers, but it's mostly Native American territory.
Yeah.
And one other change I made. Instead of buying Alaska from Russia, we bought Siberia.
Interesting.
So all the white miners that existed going west in California, they actually live in Siberia. Most of the Europeans that came over here go to Siberia because all of a sudden they got jobs and mining and whatever. Because Siberia has gold, silver, rare earths, copper. It's a very rich place. Russia doesn't have the technology, nor do they have the people. Go out and take advantage.
Yeah.
Russia, if they had 100 million more people, would be one of the richest countries on the planet.
Which is interesting because when you look at their architecture, it's like fairy tale.
Yes.
The way their buildings are and stuff's absolutely marvelous.
All those buildings on Red Square. Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. And so,
I
was just going to say, architecture is something that I'm sometimes fascinated in. So, I look at this old house and I was just like, all these great, wonderful old houses that were probably built on the back of slaves. They were the true architects. They had to be geniuses because, like my brother-in-law's house, blows down in a hurricane or a tornado. And this house has been here since 1851. And his house was built like in, 2000. So.
Oh, the reason I asked you about the steamboats?
Yes.
If you look up on the map, we live about a half a mile away from Bartholomew Bayou, the longest bayou on the planet. It runs from basically Pine Bluff down to a lake in the middle of Louisiana. Steamboats used to run up and down that small ones.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a bayou, it's twisty and turny. It's got Civil War history. In Louisiana, about halfway to here, from the lake it enters into, the Union, to stop it being a trade route, smuggling cotton, they got a riverboat and burned it and left it in the bayou, which totally stopped the traffic in the bayou.
Interesting, because I know that's what they back here. It was cotton. I always call it 1860s Bitcoin, and they also, of course, timber because we're by the piney woods. But the steamboats were smaller because some of the areas of the Red River are narrow.
Mm-hmm. And you put maybe 3 bales of cotton on it. That's it. Steamboat floated. You got maybe a 2-person crew. A small boiler, and you can go up and down the bayou. Still a job.
Yeah.
But those steamships run to about 19, I think the last one, 1912, 1913.
Well, when you think about it, Gwen was talking about, the heat and how awful it is and stuff. Can you imagine what it was like for them back then? They didn't have
on a small little ship like that.
Yeah.
A boat. And you got a boiler. Even if 2 or 3 of you sitting around, you got to watch that boiler. And you got all this heat just red. Have you ever been on a steamship?
Yes. But the ones that I have been on going up and down the Mississippi are more of a modern luxury type of steamship.
Oh, okay.
It's not like the tiny little ones like back then. It's like, the replicas of them that they turn into luxury things. And then, and of course, I had one in Moody Gardens, but still the same thing. It's not like the original. I mean, it looks pretty and it looks like it, but I mean, it's not like the tiny little boiler that you're talking about.
Right. They have very big ones.
Hmm.
They have a couple of interesting steamers in New Orleans.
Yes, they do.
I'm trying to get Thomas Patrick. Do you know him?
No, I don't.
He's doing the Connecticut con.
Oh, okay.
He's a great guy. Look him up, Thomas Patrick, on Facebook.
Hang on.
He's a great guy. He's got a show here on the network, and he's as nice a guy as you want to meet. I'm going to try to meet up with him Thursday, right before the Paracon.
Yeah.
Trying to talk him to come in early.
Apparently, I should know him because I have 6. Well, let's see. It says I have 6 mutual friends.
One of them is me.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Let me see. This is one of them. Chris Talley, his friends. Well, it's probably this guy.
He's very good friends with John Zaffis, too.
Okay, so I'll put add friend there. Yeah, he's got a lot of my so we'll see.
I'm trying to get him and his other half, Sasa, to go on a steamboat ride during the day, leaving New Orleans, going to the battlefield, the Battle of New Orleans.
Yeah.
Going to that museum and then coming back to New Orleans. So I'm trying to get him there early so the 4 of us can go on that little ride.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh, yes. I'm hoping he makes it early so we can go because he's a super nice guy. She's a super nice lady. And the 4 of us getting together and taking a ride for about an hour on a steamship ride and then touring the museum at the battlefield.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes. So that's what we're going to be doing.
Cool. Well, I'm sure he'll go. Well, I don't know him personally, but I just sent him a friend request, so hopefully he'll accept. I'm sure he will.
He'll accept that. He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
He's got his own Paracon up in Connecticut that's coming up, too. He's a busy guy.
When is it? Because I know, me and Alex will be in Connecticut on the 13th of August.
Gwen could tell you. I'd have to look it up. Gwen, when is the Connecticut Con and the Witch Fest up there? I forget.
Hey, Connecticut is July the 11th. The Witch Con, oh my goodness, I think it's the next weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'll get you the dates, guys. I don't know them all, and Thomas hasn't, but yeah, July the 11th is, matter of fact, I'm going to pop this up if you guys are good with it to,
go ahead.
Okay. It's going to be on top of us. Here we go. That's the Connecticut Paracon. I thought it had the dates, but it is July the 11th. And if you guys can go. It's good. I want to go, but I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. But
I have an investigation on the 11th here in Jefferson for private residents. It's really huge, and hopefully it's in a mansion, and we're actually hoping to put together where it would be another location for me, and we would be hosting Dining with the Dead. So that'll be something coming up in September. But I have the investigation on the 11th, and then on August 13th, I'll be at Ed and Lorraine Warren's house and get to see the Cursed Museum before they pack it up and send it away. So I'll get to meet Annabelle.
That's cool.
Oh, wow.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of hers. Of course, I have to go to their graveside and pay my respects. And
Of course.
And then we're staying at the Captain Grant's Inn there. That's supposed to be, really haunted too. So I'm staying, I think, in that Annabelle room or something. But I know they said it was the most haunted room. So of course I had to book it.
Of course.
Yeah, with all my little gadgets and stuff, and say, okay,
You're best to ask a question. What's the most haunted location you've ever been to or recommend?
The most haunted location I've got, the Myrtles is definitely one of the most haunted locations. I've had a lot of activity at the Minger Hotel, but the ghosts have come to me. Marshall House Inn in Savannah, Georgia is very haunted. There's some locations on Factors Walk. There is a square there where there's a witch, or I think she thought she was a witch that kind of danced around there. Very haunted. I lived in a house in London when I was a kid that was very haunted. Let's see. I've been to so many places. I had a lot of activity when I went to Gettysburg, when I was just kind of sitting in one little circle by ourselves. We have the whole inn to ourselves at this point. We booked all the rooms. Yeah, we booked all the captain's grand room. Got book it. The Magnolias Hotel, that's right outside of Seguin, Texas. It's and you can actually book book the whole thing. A lot of activity, and I thought it was going to be kind of hokey, because you know how you go in some places and they kind of mess things up to try to make you think it's ghosts, and it's not. So uncool. This was real activity, so I was happy to see that. To say what was the most, it just depends, because every experience is different. To me, the most haunted would be if I ever felt threatened. And I've only been on 2 investigations where I really felt threatened, but that was because there was something demonic going on.
Yeah, I was about to say, how do you judge that? By most ghost? Most interaction with a ghost? Or how would you even judge which is the most haunted or which is the best place to go? I don't know. I just kind of shrug my shoulders. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, because like to me, going to a location where it's very threatening, like when I went to that one home, and I mean, I look inside the shower and, oh, she's saying activity, but I look inside the shower and I see something that looks like a bear with pointed ears, and I, realized, and that was where I got the claws. I laughed, and that's what I think that's what really irritated them, because they try to form themselves, when it's demonic haunting, they try to form themselves in something that they feel like would frighten who's ever there that can see them. Well, the medium that was with me, it was frightening to her, but to me it was comical looking, because I just kind of saw the silhouette of what looked like a bear with pointed ears, and I found it funny. And stupid me laughs out loud, so of course I just irritated it. And I had, after that investigation, it was all said and done, I had a spirit that said, he's making you sick. And I actually, within 3 days, I was in the hospital with pancreatitis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So to me, that was obviously the most threatening. But as far as activity, I mean, the old mill is probably the most haunted as far as activity, because there's something always going on there. But then it's like you were talking about, sometimes there's quiet days and sometimes there's not. It can depend upon what time of the year you're going. Like here in Jefferson, yeah, it's haunted all the time. But yeah, the first weekend of May, yeah, it's going to be a little crazy. Here, the 4th of July, it's going to be a little bit crazy again, because everybody's going to be dressed in costumes, and I mean, it kind of awakens things up. I do the haunts and legends, or I did the last haunts and legends, and I was one of their investigators for Captain's Castle. I walked in, getting ready to set my gear and stuff. I looked straight up. There's a ghost just sitting there waving and smiled at me. And then on the EVP, he confirmed, yep, that was me. So, and there was a lot of activity there just because they were trying to get attention.
Your bestie has a point there.
Yeah, sometimes
they just don't want to be bothered.
And that's what I've noticed, because like I do my investigations from like 8 to midnight, sometimes longer. People want to stay longer. But I noticed that around 11 o'clock, it quiets down. It's almost like they get tired.
Yes. If you look about Arkansas, you will hear about the Allen House in Monticello.
Yes, I'm very familiar with the Allen House.
Have you ever been there?
I haven't been there, but I've seen many documentaries and stuff. It's one of the places that I remember the story about. It's a sweet story.
Yes, it is. They don't let anybody investigate there anymore. They got their money. They completely refurbished the place, and that's why they were letting Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. The
Mhm.
Ghost Brothers were there for a week and did their hour show. Their first show, the
Mhm.
Ghost Brothers, was the Allen House.
Yeah.
The main spirit there, Liddell Allen,
Mhm.
she gets tired in a hurry.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about 10, 11 o'clock, there's been quite a few people and trying to talk to Liddell, and everybody wants to talk to Liddell.
Mhm.
She starts wearing down. Now, her
Well.
son was younger. He died at 22, 23 years old
Mhm.
in New York City. He is a jokester and a prankster. I was in the dining room one night, and there were some tours going through, people going in, out, and a tour of about 6 of them people walked in. Guy was wearing a baseball hat, and this was Halloween night, and everybody calls him Alan because they try to they called him this as a kid because Adele's divorce was ugly, and they wished she'd never married that guy, and I think she did too. But she had a son, so rather than call him by his first name and his last name, which they tried to get away from, they just called him Alan.
Mhm.
And I was talking with him. And I said, Alan, can you give me the name of the gentleman who just walked in here with a baseball cap? And he was the only one in the group with a baseball cap. Immediately, Alan gave his name, blared it out over the speaker. The rest of the tour, oh, okay, ghost hunting, and just moved on to the next room. This guy froze. His eyes got big. He ran out of the room, and I found out later he ran out of the house
Oh
and was
no.
gone. That's what kind of personality Alan has.
Yeah. Um.
But Liddell does just what you were describing a few minutes ago. Along about 10, 11 o'clock, she's kind of talkative, then she'll just go down to nothing.
Well, this is the way I look at it. 'Cause when I was a social worker, before I was a teacher, I actually worked as a social worker, and I worked with victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And when I was going through the training with all this, it's like when somebody's been assaulted, they have to tell the initial officer. And then they have to tell the next person that comes out. Then they have to tell the medical staff. They have to tell all of these people. So by the time they have to repeat their story 6 or 7 times. I make that analogy because I think about ghosts. They're constantly being asked the same question over and over again. That's why I started providing a script, because sometimes those questions are inappropriate. They get tired. Don't ask me 100 times how I died. Don't ask me how old I am. I done told you my name is Liddell. I done told you my name is this. And so, yeah, that's going to wear somebody down. And after a while, especially as a woman, I'm going to say, I'm done. Whereas Cartman would say, I'm tired of going home. I mean, uh, it's you can only take so much. And for some people, like Mr. Goldberg in the Old Mill, he deals with it with humor. But I mean, after a while, I mean, it's just like, okay, they're quiet down, they're done with what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And I think that you should respect that. And it's time to wrap it up. And even myself, when I go on a planned an investigation, unless it's an incredibly large place and I'm sure I don't have that many people with me, I usually wrap it up within 4 hours. I make sure that I hit every room. If there's a little bit more activity in one than other, then I may be in there a little bit longer. But in my questionnaire, I'm also like, okay, what rooms do you have the most activities? What do we need to hit? Because I'm not going to sit there, 2 hours in the kitchen if nothing ever happens in the kitchen.
Right.
And then again, I know that if they're exhausted, they're going to be irritated with me, and they may not, because not all investigate, especially when you're doing a private home. I mean, you might as well, put their numbers in your Rolodex because you're going to be back, and you want the ghost to be happy when they come back to when you come back to see them. You don't want to be, oh, it's them again. It's that investigator again who's going to ask me, or think about the ghost
Right.
that said, every time I say hello, I get accused of being a demon, because there are those investigators that are out there that pull that card, for scare factors and stuff like that when nothing is further than the truth. And then I sit there and I think about it. Well, I don't think I'd like it if somebody called me that. But if somebody did call me that, I'm sure as heck going to act like one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, Liddell. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it goes back to, again, to being the respect thing and remembering that
Bingo.
they were human. They had lives. Treat them like people. You wouldn't treat your mom like that. Don't treat them like that.
Liddell, if you talk to her nicely, she's a sweetheart. Mm-hmm. She likes married couples, kind of envious. She had a totally failed marriage with her husband, mm-hmm. and a totally bad love affair with a guy that just kind of played her for years, and finally told her that he was not leaving his wife and kids for her. Finally told her the truth. That's just stringing her along for years. And of course, she was at the age by that time is not a whole lot of doors open to you.
Yeah.
Romantically.
Especially at that time period.
Especially. Mm-hmm. Now it's bad enough. Back then was worse.
Oh, I know.
Especially living in a small town like Monticello. Monticello is only a town of about 4,500 people today. Mm-hmm. And back then it was half of that. But the first time we were there, I was, of course, talking to some of the tour guides and some other people about the history of the house, like you probably would, first time you walked in there. Mm-hmm. And Gail got a little bored, and she went to the foyer by the front door and sat down. I had no idea. The place is 2 stories, plus an attic, plus a basement. And I saw all of it. By the way, Gail would not go to the attic anymore. She went up there one time, got up to the floor, turned around, went right back downstairs. That's a place she does not want to go. But that's where they found the letters.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Isn't that where he found that box of letters?
Exactly. In fact, when you walk up the staircase, it's only about maybe 20 feet mm-hmm. to the loose boards where the letters were found. This is also a tiny room there in the attic. Mm-hmm. It's where Alan spent a lot of his time, and you can look on the desk and you can see, how kids are with a wooden desk. His name is scratched in several different places. That's where he spent a lot of his time.
Yeah.
And her letters were found right kind of behind and off to the side from where he spent a whole bunch of time. And that's where the letters were found in the floorboards. She won't go up there. But anyway, I had no idea where Gail was. I didn't know what floor. I didn't want to go up and down stairs looking for her. So I was telling her, I said, I don't even know where my wife is. She's probably ready to go. And he and I both could feel Liddell's presence there. She'd said a couple of things to us. And all of a sudden we felt her leave. And you know that feeling yourself.
Yeah.
You got a spirit there. You feel the spirit, and the spirit leaves. You know it. Uh-huh. And we looked at each other. She just left. Yeah, she's gone. And Gail, I was talking to her later, at this time felt a presence. Liddell went to where Gail was. And Gail said she just kind of felt in her head that he'll be here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I said, Gail's probably mad at me. She's ready to go. Come back. And then I heard Liddell say she is. And the guide said, wow. Because we heard this with no equipment. This was just bare eyes and ears. And that's how nice she was. And she also communicated to me where she was, to where I guess she was guiding me. Mm-hmm. I walked straight up to where Gail was. I started walking in 30 seconds. I walked up to where she was.
Ghosts can be very helpful. I had a similar situation like that recently. I went to Washington, D.C., met a friend there, and she's a little bit older than me. And she was at the Library of Congress, but she let her phone die. She lost her wallet. I had sensed that she was in trouble. I'm walking down like in the library in one of those side hallways that I actually kind of got lost. And I noticed at first I thought it was a regular person by me. Then I realized it was a ghost. And I was just like panicked at first. I was like, I don't want to deal with a ghost right now. And then I was like, I mentally told him what was going on about my friend. I was worried about her. You know, I think she's lost, blah, blah, blah. He took me straight to her. It was just so nice, you know. I mean, it was like, you know, here it was, and it was when we were there, it was the police officers' weekend, so all of DC was just bombarded, and there were so many people, and yet he took me directly to her, and I was so incredibly thankful. And that's just one of many times that a ghost has actually have helped me. That's just happened to be the most recent, and I'm just so incredibly thankful. My son, we were in the Minger Hotel, and he slept walk, and he actually physically left the room, and a ghost who was also one of the Rough Riders, his name was Michael, he brought him back. And I mean, and I got EVPs, and he was like with him, he's like, it's okay, no problem. But my son had left the room, and when he woke up, he discovered he was poor thing, in his underwear by the ice machine. And I mean, I woke up in the middle of the night just scared. I was sick, so I was out cold. And then we hear this knocking on the door. And of course, we run to the door, and there he is. And, you know, my husband was all panicked, but I saw the ghost next to him, and I knew that he brought him back. And Joseph had seen him too. And Joseph didn't even know that's my son. He didn't even know what room we were in. But I mean, and what was interesting was he was holding his hand up like he was holding the ghost's hand. And at the time, my husband was so scared and, you know, so troubled by it that he didn't snap to that. And then when I explained to him, yeah, and then I let him hear the EVPs, he was like, dang, what a nice guy. And I'm like, yeah, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of here.
Ghosts are amazing.
They are.
Oh, by the way, when you go down New Orleans, go to Marie Laveau's voodoo shop.
I've been there.
Okay. Did you leave a gift for her?
Yes, I did.
What did you leave?
I left change, and then there was another time that I left a little doll. And the reason why is because she's a character in Echoes of the Heart. And I also went to her gravesite when I did the cemetery tour because I wanted to thank her because I know she was a devout Catholic. She went to Mass 3 times a month. Plus, she was the queen of this. And so because she played a little bit of a prominent role in my novel, I wanted to provide thanks. So, you know, they have lots of different things. You can even write little pieces of paper and, you know, and leave her notes and stuff like that. But I just, you know, I just mentally wanted to talk to her. And she is a very flavorful character in the book. And then I also went to the museum, you know, had to go to the museum and all that kind of stuff. So it's, you know, I mean, just, you know, everything about her is fascinating.
Yes.
Yes.
I left her one of these.
What is that? I can't see it.
You left have your speakers on. I'm hearing myself.
What?
I'm hearing myself all of a sudden.
Oh, maybe I have my speaker. Maybe the ghosts are playing with I haven't touched any of my speakers or anything.
That's the first time that's happened. It's still going on. We're having a ghost issue.
Yeah, I think we are.
Big surprise. It's happening quite often on my show. This is a hair tie.
A what?
A hair tie.
Oh, okay.
I don't always have my hair down like that, like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tied the ponytail behind me. When I went to her gravesite, I left one of these with the hair tie. Because you know what she used to do for a living, right? And her real power. She was a hairdresser.
Oh yeah, I did know that. I'm sorry, I did know
She
that.
was at her time. She was the best hairdresser in New Orleans. Everybody who was somebody had their hair done by Marie Laveau.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been to a hairdresser with that hair of yours many times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You always talk to the hairdresser because you're sitting there staring at a wall or a mirror and you're bored. So
Mhm.
people talk. And that was her superpower. She listened more than she talked, and she just let people talk on, and she learned everything and where all the skeletons were buried, literally where the bodies were buried in New Orleans. And that's why nobody really wanted to make her angry.
Yeah.
That was her power. She was not an evil person. She was a nice
No,
person.
she's a very good person, and she donated a lot of money to the church.
Yes. And it
And
just so happened some of her offspring went north in Louisiana.
Mhm.
Both of the families that resulted in my wife came from central Louisiana, former slaves. So there is a possibility that Gail may be a distant relation.
Oh, that would be so cool. I would love to be related to her.
Gail has a little bit like her, short. Yeah, have you seen the picture that Gwen did of us?
No.
See if I can pull it up real quick. Gwen, go ahead and pull that picture up.
Oh, the beautiful beam footage.
Oh, that's so cool.
Gwen did that. That's just how cool Gwen is.
Yeah, that is really cool. I like that.
Yeah, and that's our expression, our saying. We have T-shirts made with that picture on the shirts. Gail, why don't you just look into the camera?
Okay. I can't tell which one is.
Hi, Gail.
Hi. There's hair. Look like that.
By the way, 25 years this November.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We got married in the former library in Chicago.
Oh, how neat.
Yes, it was.
You've been in Chicago, right?
I've only passed through. It's one of my plans to do a big trip there.
Okay, they've got a building downtown that's kind of just a public area. They have marriages down there, and they fix it up for seasonal stuff. We got married on the 10th. All decked out for Thanksgiving, which was cool.
Yeah.
We got married there. You can see the lake outside the windows. It's the former main library.
Mm-hmm.
It was shown during Ghostbusters and most movies in Chicago area. They show this building because it's got the.
New York.
I think they showed just a little bit of it, just for a second. It's based in New York, but they showed it. I think they showed the Chicago building just because it's got the statues going around, and it's a very old building.
Yeah.
Quite haunted too. So
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we got married.
That's so cool.
And by the way, to answer your bestie's question earlier, you remember this is about 20 years ago now. The rectory in Cincinnati.
The rectory in what?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
No.
That is an old place. They had dog fighting there. There was a rectory beside an old church. And the priests that lived in the rectory were deflocked priests, which means they did something wrong. They misled their people in the church. They either wanted to get married or been with a woman, or they abused the child.
Mm-hmm.
These were some of and this was one of the worst of the worst places. And they deflocked them, put them there, and made them live there the rest of their life. And some of those people, the spirits there are not nice at all. That was three of us investigated the place. Friend of mine that's out of the paranormal now, his girlfriend and me, they split up 2 or 3 weeks later.
Really?
He and I had never raised our voices at each other, but yet we had a big falling out, yelling at each other. Later, and it took us about 6 months for everybody to get normal again. The three of us were looking at each other. What the hell was that about?
I've heard so many stories though that were similar to that. And then, where also couples will, if they're in a haunted home and couples will break up. My husband died on our 27th wedding anniversary. But I always felt so blessed that, we prayed together. And when he did these investigations with me, we stuck strong because we know that just like people will try to, put a wrench into your relationship, so will ghosts. And some of them find it very humorous to cause problems. And so another question that I ask when I go to do an investigation, has there been strife going on in the home? Has there been an uptick in fighting? Are the pets healthy? Are they behaving differently? Because they can affect your behavior. And I flat out say, look, if you're going through trauma, if you're going through, something stressful in your life, if you're depressed, do not go on an investigation, especially to a place that you're not familiar with, because they will attack you and they will, try to tear you down if that's what they choose to do.
Mm-hmm. I had a ghost following me. The church next door had a big 6-foot wide hole in front of the door. The only way to get in was to open the door and jump over that hole. And you only have about a 3-foot porch that you could back all the way up to the railing and run about 4 feet and jump 6. And that's the only way in. The three of us actually made it. And I think that's why we were bothered, because most people look at that hole and say, because it goes all the way to the floor of the basement. So if you fall in that hole, you're falling about 10, 12 feet onto a floor that's covered in junk. So you're gambling.
Yeah.
But the three of us made it in there and investigated in the church. And I had a spirit following me, but would not speak to me, would not move anything, wouldn't do anything, but he was right behind me. And I had my ghost hunter vest on, all my equipment, lights, meters, everything was right here. I just said, okay, you don't like me in full dress. I pulled off the vest. It was a good 30 degrees in that church. I stripped down to a t-shirt. I said, you want to talk to me now? You want to come up here and get in my face? Fine, come on. But stop following me around. If you're intimidated by equipment, I don't have any equipment on. I took stuff out of my pants pockets. I said, it's just me. And he still wouldn't talk to me. But he did follow me out of the church. I'm assuming it was maybe a priest who actually ran that church.
Are you sure they spoke English?
That's a possibility, but it was Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm assuming they all spoke English there.
It doesn't matter, not necessarily. And I
True.
have run into investigations where, and especially, of course, being here in Texas, but even in other places where I've gotten Asian, Mandarin, I've gotten German, I've gotten Spanish, and I've gotten English, and I'm sure at some point in my time I'll get some other language as well. So just because, we can say, okay, well, we're here, so everybody predominantly speaks English, not necessarily. Maybe they don't know how to communicate. You also, if they were disabled in life and they were a ghost and not a spirit and they did not ascend, then they're not going to be cured from that disability. Maybe they were deaf. maybe they were blind. So these were things that we have to consider whenever we're doing these investigations.
Yeah, I was trying to be less intimidating.
Mhm.
And so I stripped down to the t-shirt, and I was comfortable. I did not even have goosebumps on my arms. And I'm standing there in a t-shirt at 30 degrees. So that was weird too, the fact that I was comfortable in a t-shirt for about 20, 30 minutes. Chanting and tramping around when I was zoned out, and we call it EVP. Okay. By the way, she did just turn your speaker down. I think you fixed it. And she also said the ghost trying to tell Gina she's up past her bedtime. So, would you believe we have been on this show for 2 hours and 12 minutes?
Yes, we've been on here quite a while, but we've had a lot to talk about.
Well, one more time before we run everybody out, tell us where to find you for people who want to talk to you. I can't imagine somebody not wanting to talk to you, by the way.
They can find me in all my social medias. They just need to plug in Gina Lynelle. They'll find me. My website, I do respond back, usually within 24 to 48 hours, but GinaLynelle.com is my website. They'll find all my books. Also, I post a lot of ghost pictures, a lot of things from my investigations. If I do a private investigation, I do not post anything of theirs unless I have their permission, of course. Sometimes people contact me because they need an investigation. Usually when people contact me for a private investigation, it's because they're scared. And I treat that with the most utmost respect. I'm a widow. We need to hush her down. But
and she knows I'm married.
And my husband recently spoke to her during an Estes session. So, but anyways, you can contact me on all the social medias. You can find my books on all the online, like I said, online bookstores. And I will respond if they're fearful of something, especially if they're in the area. I'll do whatever I can to help them. I will, if I need to pull together a team, I'll pull together a team. Alex obviously is part of my team. I also train investigators, not just with Jefferson Paranormal Journeys, but if somebody's really seriously interested in getting into it, if I have a spot, then I will, train them, providing that, they kind of meet the requirements. Obviously, I'm not going to have just anybody come out there because it does take a certain breed to do what we do.
Yes. And I'm so glad to meet you. It's been fabulous.
Yes.
Of course, she kind of set us up. She gave me her name, and I contacted you, and we just kind of hit it off. I did not really know you till I read your bio. And with all the problems to start with, I did not even read your bio. I mean, live on air, because I was in just a rush to get started. So sorry about that.
It's okay.
But I think we've said most of what was in the bio. It sounds like I'm from Southern Louisiana saying bayou when it's bio.
Think of it this way. I don't do research at first when I go investigate a site because I want to go in there and read it cold. There's nothing wrong with doing that with your guests.
Yes. And that's kind of the way I did it tonight. That's why I did it with her, and I hit it off. And she said she's a former boxer. She also says she's her family champion in arm wrestling. You're laughing, so you must already know that.
Yeah. She's a jack of all trades, but then again, I guess I am as well.
Yeah. Well, I think there was some talk about us getting together at the Pirates bar, and we were going to arm wrestle over a purple drink.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to do that then.
Definitely have to. Gwen's
And
going
then
to
I
want to get on it. She wants her purple drink. Letriana Terry Brown will also be there doing readings at the Paracon. She's also going to be doing readings and doing her thing in the Voodoo House and in the Andrew Jackson. So you'll meet her.
awesome.
And she's the CEO of this network.
Okay, great.
And by the way, when you talk to Chris, don't mention my name unless you want a bad reaction.
Okay.
And you see what she just said.
Yes, Lynn is buying me a purple drink.
Well, you're not very good at arm wrestling if you can't beat a 70-year-old man.
That's true. You're challenged.
but it's going to be a lot of fun. And
Yeah. I'm looking forward to
when you talk to Chris, don't mention my name unless you want a bad reaction.
Okay.
I was down there last spring, and was there to visit them specifically. And he approached me asking about should he do a Paracon or not. She's doing some smack talk now.
Yeah, she is.
And basically, I talked Chris into doing the Paracon last spring when I was down there.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like
he admits. You what?
It sounds like it's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it.
He's done a great job.
It takes a lot of work to put them together.
Yes, he is putting in the work, talking to the people. I told him that told Jennifer too, that I was going to try to sell all their packages, and now a lot of their packages are completely sold out.
That's awesome.
Jennifer says that's a tall order, and on their top package, there's only 3 left as of yesterday, so that could have changed to 2 or none now. The RIPs with Father Sebastian got sold out within a week. They announced he was coming, and I guess he's got a lot of fans.
Well, also when you don't that's one thing that I have learned, that if you don't make yourself too accessible, that when you do make yourself accessible, you're more likely to sell out more. So it's actually a smart move to not be out there as much, if that makes sense. And so you've got these people that make it to every single Paracon, and then you've got the ones that only come here and there, and the ones that come here and there, that's when people are going to be really excited to see them, because it's to them it might be a once in a lifetime sort of thing. Right.
And Chris is walking a tightrope. He got John Zappis, who does a lot of Paracons over the year. He's also got Father Sebastian, who doesn't do Paracons.
Yeah.
To your point. Patty Negre, of course, she does several, kind of a combination of the two. She doesn't do all of them, but she does do a few, and she's going to be there.
Yeah, it seems like she's at maybe it's just because of the location, but it seems like she's at them more often than not. Although, I mean, I know because I get to where, like, especially like doing them around in the Texas area and kind of in these like southern states like Louisiana and stuff, you get to where you see the same people all the time, especially when it comes to the vendors. And then also, like, even with like the nerd cons and stuff, I run into the same authors all the time. And then I have the same audience, which is kind of cool, because like I'll have people that will buy one of my books every single time, or they'll buy the whole, because they've read my books before. And it's so cool to be on an author's panel and, oh yeah, I've read this book and I've read this book, and, to have that affirmation.
Are you into Native Americans much?
A little bit, especially Cherokee.
Okay. The reason I asked, it will be a Native American panel at New Orleans Paracon.
Be interesting to see. Of course, I'll be writing my book.
Gwen, who you met, and Letriana, who we've talked about, are both part Native American and will be on that panel.
Cool.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I saw. Now, I don't know how true this is. Gwen can probably straighten me out real quick. I'm type O positive. and it's a quirk of, they've got records of DNA for most people around the world now. It seems that about 90% of Native Americans are type O positive. So that means they all come from the same region of Asia.
I'm type
They may
O.
not all
and
come together.
Well, Alex is full Native American. I'm type O, and I've got Cherokee in me, but I've only have I had a great grandmother that was full-blooded Cherokee, and then a little bit, but I mean I'm type O, but my son would have a little bit, and he's B negative, so go figure.
Yeah, that happens. But we're talking about people who were close to being, having a lot of proven Native American blood in them. It's one of those weird things. And so I have no idea. I was adopted at birth, so I have no idea who my biological family was.
You should do a DNA test.
People keep telling me that.
I've tried it. I've tried doing it, and I've grown up my whole life being told that I was Irish and Irish and Czechoslovakian, and then it came back that I was Scottish. And then a friend of mine did a swab test on an iguana just to see if it would come back on human, and so he got stuff. So now I'm kind of like, okay, I don't know if I trust these.
I did one a few years ago because I didn't know what I was, and mine came back English, Irish, Scottish with the freckles, of course, but English, Irish, Scottish, German, Native American, and Cameroon. Yeah. So, yeah, but I made them do it twice, and I made them pay another company, and it came out the same thing. So
okay, I may do it again because they came out Irish, Scottish, Czech, and then Native American, which I knew because my great grandmother was full blooded Cherokee. He married her off the reservation. So I mean, obviously, I knew I had that. And then with this hair, yeah,
yeah, you can tell a little bit. And your friend Haunted Travels.
Yeah.
I know I could tell she had, I don't know which tribe. I bet I could tell. And I wanted to ask, but I know for sure, and I haven't found all of my relatives, but I know for sure I have Creek and Cherokee. But I do not look at you. If you saw me, you would not know it at all. Not really, but
my people probably knew your people.
Yeah, we know each other. That was my neighbor. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I love you both, but it's been 2 hours and a half almost.
Yes.
And,
we'll go. I have the freckles. I got the Irish, and I can't tan. I just get freckles.
I tan. When I tan, yeah, when I tan really well. Okay, so she said Cherokee, Apache, Blackfoot, and okay, my eyes, because I don't have my
Guamanian.
Guamanian. Mm-hmm. I just butchered that too.
Does that mean she's from Guam, or I'm not sure of that word. I've never seen it.
Okay, but see, she's got her hair colored different. If I saw her with her natural look, maybe I could tell a little better. Yeah. But I get to meet you guys in New Orleans. That is going to be really cool.
I know. I'm excited.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to have fun. And we're going to, she's going to one day when she's not busy and I'm not busy. I don't know what day that's going to be, but we're going to collaborate so we can share folks too. So that'll be fun. But yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm going to let you close it out. But Lynn, we need to wrap it up because I know you guys are loving it and I'm loving it too. But we do have to get off here sooner or later. So.
Yeah.
I hate rushing you now. Yes.
Go ahead where she can see it. Play the bat video real quick.
All right, which one is it marked on?
The one with the bat.
I don't see which one is the bat now.
We'll be at the new.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. So you have to look. Oh, here we go.
By the way, the RIP package is sold out. Sold out for me.
夜明けが迫り来る招かさる感情真空の逆流に私は酔いしれた心臓から
You can tell I had a little bit of fun making that video.
Yeah, I can tell.
Also, I had a little bit of fun having these fangs made. They're not as big as Father Sebastian's, but they are there.
Yeah, they're there.
Father Sebastian will be making fangs for people at the Paracon. He's good friends with Raven Wolf, who Gwen can tell you what her show is. She's also on this network. She is kind of, Gwen can tell you the best way to describe her is kind of on the dark side of the paranormal. Where Father Sebastian is her style. Let's just put it that way. So I'm looking forward to meeting him during the Paracon. I'll try to get him to interview. By the way, what I was getting to about Chris a while ago, if you mention my name, he's probably going to hiss at you because since I talked him into it, he blames me, the whole Paracon, on me. And every time he writes a check to somebody for the Paracon, he curses my name. And he will tell you this.
It's expensive to get them to run them.
It's very expensive. I'm not going to repeat some of the conversations we've been into because that was just between me and him.
Yeah.
But I've known some of the expenses incurred. I knew some of this when I was talking him into this and heard some of the titles from him. Fully agree. There is a lot of expenses going into this. And he's not going to make money this year. How many people do with a new Paracon? Next year in June, probably, because that's when he's going to try to get it away from Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And again in June, where there's no other real Paracons the week before or the week after, but still hot and it's still all season in New Orleans. Nobody goes to New Orleans after June 1st.
No, it's. I did last year. It was miserable, although it was. They privatized the trash collection in New Orleans for a while, and they cleaned it up, and it was so great. And then they were under protest because they were putting it back under government. So I don't know what happened with that, and I'm really hoping that they were able to keep it privatized.
I don't know how that ended up. I know they have a mess. Because I went to 3 Sugar Bowls in New Orleans starting in 1980. And remember, I'm 70. And if you go to you're in a bar at 3 o'clock in the morning, not unusual for New Orleans. They're open to 4. And you're walking back to your hotel. A lot of times you're either behind or one's behind you, a garbage truck cleaning the place up. Yeah. That's what it used to be. It's not quite like that now. They don't keep it as clean. By the way, anybody talking about cleaning stuff up, they're tighter on cleaning up parked cars without a sticker.
Yeah.
They're tough on that. They will, if you're in the wrong zone, but then your sticker is, or you don't have a sticker at all, or you're parked where they tell the people in that zone not to park their car on the street. You got to park it in another zone. You just walk a little bit further home or whatever. If you're doing it wrong and you don't know what days is the right days, you're in trouble. Your car will get towed very quickly. Parking may not be an issue. Chris said there is parking available down there, but it's going to be limited and it's going to cost money.
Yeah, it's going to be expensive. He was trying to see if he could work out a deal, but I don't. As of yet, I haven't heard if he was.
I
able
haven't
to.
heard him say what deal he worked out. One way he loves me is because we are taking a rental car to Pittsburgh, taking it down to New Orleans, checking in the hotel, dropping off our baggage, and taking it back to Enterprise. There's an Enterprise just 3 or 4 blocks down the street from the hotel.
Oh, okay.
By the way, this is a 4-star hotel, and I'm sure you're staying there because I'm sure you got the nice rates too.
Yes, I did. I got the nice rates, and we're going to be staying there. And like I said, I'm going to stay an extra day. My friend is going to bed, so.
But good night and sweet dreams, and you take care of yourself.
All right.
So, she's a nice person.
Yeah, she is.
She was an interesting guest. She's talkative. She was, and I really appreciate her setting us up together because you've also been a great guest. You've carried the show for 2.5 hours. So I really appreciate it. You're most welcome, and we'll see you in New Orleans.
All
and
right.
you know, I will say the same thing to you. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. I don't know how long Gwen's going to want to hang around after. If you want to stick around for maybe a minute or two, we can chit chat and then we can leave.
Okay.
But she'll close us out, and then just don't do anything.
Okay.
And you'll come back in the room. Gwen, we've had a great guest tonight. I think we've had a great show tonight. And go ahead and let's close the door on this show. Next week, I will have a guest. I'm not sure who it'll be. I'm talking about several people who will be at the New Orleans Paracon. I will have a guest, and they will be going to the New Orleans Paracon. I'm going New Orleans Paracon or bust. You should feel the same way too, and be there and get to see me and Father Sebastian hiss at each other. Or see how many people we can bite. Anyway, have a good night. And just remember, paranormal never sleeps. We'll see you next week. Good night. And don't let the vampires bite.